If you've ever been to an auction, you already know you can get your hands on some pretty cool stuff. And our next guest knows firsthand the jewelry, the beads, the rugs, the carpets. You'd be hard-pressed to find anything like it. So today we're going to show you. This is Maria Stein, owner of Stuart Kingston in Rehoboth Beach. Thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
We've had you on the show before, and we've talked about the rich history that Stuart Kingston has. And your father's collection is getting quite a big honor, isn't it?
It is. My father was a huge collector of fine wine, and Christie's auction house in New York this Friday is getting ready to sell his collection. They are saying it's one of the finest collection of 20th century wines. One wine in particular is the Romanacante 1978 that has been numerically numbered on each bottle.
And you have a picture of it there? Let's see what we're talking about here. Okay, so tell us about it.
Well, the Romanacante is actually one of the finest, most collectible wines in the world. Christie's recently sold a case of Romanacante for $497,000. In my father's collection, there are 6 bottles. There's a 7th that has what's called a soft cork, which means they can't sell it. That bottle alone is actually worth about $7,000, and they are going to let their heavy collector, or their best collectors, are going to be drinking that wine the night before to taste it.
Oh my goodness.
Which is pretty exciting.
That is exciting. Well, one thing that's neat about your business is you get to travel all around the world to find different things. Tell us about that.
Well, as a matter of fact, this year, or in 2017, I will start my trip in Hong Kong, where I'll buy pearls and other jewelry items. Then I'll go on to Bangkok, where I'll buy more beads and more sapphires and rubies. And then from Bangkok, I'll travel to Delhi, where I'll go into Jaipur and Agra and buy more rugs and carpets.
All right, so I'm glad you mentioned the beads, because I cannot keep my eyes off of the beads you have there, especially the amethyst.
These are amethyst.
Yeah.
The lady that strings the beads for me, when I was overseas last year, she didn't have all the same of one color. So I said, let's make an ombre necklace. So as you can see, it's the changing from lighter to darker of natural amethyst. And then we have emeralds and rubies and sapphires.
And you have the necklaces, and you also have the bracelets as well.
We have the beaded bracelets as well.
Beaded bracelets, okay. And then you have rings and earrings.
Well, I found a young designer in Thailand that makes very high fashion jewelry. And I wanted to have price points starting at $500 and under, so anybody could walk in and buy from me. So a lot of these rings that are all semi-precious stones, you know, they start at about $250 and up.
So they're affordable.
Oh yeah, and but then I have the fine jewelry. I try to have all price points.
Okay, tell me about this. Is this sapphire here, these rings?
These are sapphires. Friends of ours own 14 of the sapphire and ruby mines in the world, so I go over, just like my father before me and grandfather before that, and hand select each stone, and then I have the mountings custom made.
And I gotta ask you, I see engagement rings here, and you were telling me that you actually designed some of these?
I designed almost all of them.
Oh my goodness.
As a matter of fact, the most recent one is the princess cut stone,
which is this one right here.
Yes, just made that a couple days ago.
Oh my goodness, these are absolutely beautiful. Okay, let's talk about something else. You actually, there is a comic strip you recently auctioned off, and I never even imagined that was something you would auction.
Well, that's one of the nice things about being a general auction house. I acquired 2 Charles Schulz 1958 original comic strips for the New York Times. We put them to auction. I reached out to all of the largest collectors in the country. We had actually Heritage Auction House, which is one of the big 3, Christie's, Sotheby's, Heritage. They were on the telephone actually bidding. They were out at about $6,000 or $8,000. One strip went for $13,500, and the other went for $17,000. The one actually went to Charles Schulz's granddaughter. The other went to the largest collector of comics in the country.
That is amazing.
It was exciting.
And it was auctioned off in Delaware.
In Delaware.
Yeah, and you know, that's interesting. You know, we talk about Stuart Kingston, and you're in Sussex County. I guess, is there a misconception that you won't find some of the big city items here in Delaware?
Well, I feel that way. If I can get the same price that Heritage Auctions can get, if my father's wine collection is, you know, a Sussex County native, one of the finest collections they've ever had is going to auction in New York. I think that there is a misconception that you can't find collectors and items like that in lower Delaware, Sussex County. And there are wonderful things to be found in our region.
And then, of course, there's affordable things, as we were just talking about. So there's something for everyone. And Maria, tell me about these car mats.
Well, I waited 3 years for them to weave them for me from India. No one else has them. I've actually done a huge search on the internet to see if anybody is actually selling hand-woven rugs and carpets for your car, and I pretty much think I'm the only one.
All right, Maria. So if somebody wants to come in and get in on it, what do they do?
Give me a call. I'm currently looking for jewelry for our next auction. If anybody has a Charles Schulz comic strip, I would gladly sell it for you. Call the gallery. We're open Tuesday through Saturday.
Yeah.
Come see me.
Oh my goodness. I guess I'm going to have to look in my attic. Beautiful items you have here. Thank you so much for coming in.